One of the biggest issues for me here at the company is hiring people. Hiring the 1% of workforce, like people that I know that they can do the job. And usually when you hire the 1%, people that are really amazing at what they do, they usually can do the work of 10 people. However, hiring people is extremely hard because you don't just need to know if they know what they're doing, you also need to know if they're motivated to work in the company. You need to know what is the process that they go through to do things, and it's a pain to hire great people. So because of that, I went through hiring different people, especially when you hire people online. I went through hiring different people, and after firing like a few people, I just realized that I was doing everything wrong. So I decided to talk with one of my mentors. And after talking with one of my mentors, he gave me a formula that actually allows me to hire the 1% every single time. And that formula is really simple. First, it starts by the job description. Be as clear as you can in your job description on what you're expecting from that person. The second thing is that you need to agree with that person on paying that person half of the price of the first month, and that will allow you to actually test two people at the same time. And only by testing the two is that you can actually determine if one is good or not. Because one will outperform the other, therefore you want to work with the one that outperformed the other. And then at the end of that contract of that first month, if the person is really good, you pay them in full. If not, you pay them in half, and then every party leaves for good. But one of the tips that he actually gave me that was amazing and it's amazing because it doesn't just allow me to know myself, but allowed me to actually know the employees as well. So this is my profile, and as you can see, it says Carlos the Logician. And I know that this doesn't make sense right now, but basically what this is a psychological test, and it's called the Myers-Briggs test. Now, this is amazing because it allows you to see what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And the Logician is INTP-A. And these are things that you need to be looking forward. And even when you hire someone, and I'm going to explain this in a second real quick. And even when you hire someone, there are two tests that I actually ask people to complete. One is the 16 personality test, and the second one is a test that it's called DISC. And you'll find the link for both in the description. Now, what this allows you to do is literally to understand who that person is. And the question seems random at first, but then once you analyze everything, you'll see that it actually matches. Now, for me, every single letter stands for something. For example, I is for introvert. I'm a introvert, and that's why I hate cold calls. And this allows me to know that my weakness is being an extrovert. Therefore, what ends up happening here is I train myself to, at times when it's needed, I turn on my extrovert side and I can socialize and I can actually talk with people. And if you look at here, I am 54% introvert. So that is fairly high. And the thing is, for me, socializing with people is actually energy draining because I need to put on a persona. I'm usually a more quiet person, but it allows me to know what is my weakness, that is not being an extrovert. It allows me to work on that weakness, that when I need to be an extrovert, it's easy for me to just identify the moment and actually turn on. Now, the second one is energy, that is intuitive over observant. I'm 76% intuitive over observant. And basically what intuitivity means is that we are individuals that are more open-minded and imaginative, and we prefer novelty over stability. The thing is, like, we often get lost like in thoughts, right? So if I have to make a decision, like, we tend to focus on the different outcomes instead of just being like more of, okay, this is what you should do and that's it, right? And usually, like, people that are more observant, they usually can come to the conclusion of, okay, so this is it, we observe that, so let's do it, right? Because you're more, I'm more intuitive in this case. By being intuitive, I usually tend to overanalyze things. Now, which comes to nature, my nature is thinking over feeling. And this means that I think more on logical and take decisions more on the logical things than on the feeling parts. One thing that I was talking with my wife the other day is she was complaining about her back, and my response was like, and I have a headache. She was saying that she hates when someone is talking about like their feelings and then you simply give them an answer that basically you don't care, right? On my head, it was not in the bad sense or not in a way of hurting someone's feelings, was more of, okay, like you have your pain, I have my pain, so yeah, we're good together, right? But like, and oftentimes you, like for me, for example, because I go to the more logical way, oftentimes I give, like, I reply to people in a certain way that is not the most, let's say, pleasing way. It's because simply I'm telling them what is objective and literally what is logical and what is rational, right? Over like being more feeling is that, again, it's my weakness. It's allowing to talk to people in a way that will drive their feelings and be more of a more charismatic person per se. Then it's judging over perspective in terms of tactics, and prospecting people are individuals that are really good at improvising, right? And then, for example, assertive are people that usually, like, they are self-assured, they know what they want. Versus turbulent, there are people that they know what they want and they often work a lot for it. Assertive people usually know what they want, yet they tend to procrastinate. And it's funny because my Myers-Briggs test, it shows that for an entrepreneur, I have a lot of things that entrepreneurs shouldn't have. That is, for example, being an introvert. That is, being intuitive instead of being observant, right? Because what happens is, if you are intuitive, you are thinking about different stuffs, while observant people are, like, for example, accountants. Most of the time, accountants are really observant people. They love their spreadsheets. They love looking at their numbers, right? Same thing with lawyers. So this allows you to know that when you're hiring someone, what is the type of people that you want to actually hire. Of course, you will not just be doing your decision based on that, but it's a good way for you to know how you can work with them and actually know what to expect from them. For example, if I'm hiring a Facebook manager, I usually hire someone that is more observant than intuitive. And often those people tend to bring the best results in terms of analytics and analyzing everything and organizing spreadsheets and so on. If you watch my book talking about the outsiders, one of the things that I told you was that in a point of my company, like, the company was already 6 figures and I had like 0 documents in the company in terms of organization for the company, and that is because I'm more intuitive than observant. Like, for me, looking at spreadsheets, it's painful, but I had to learn on living in the opposite side as well when it's needed. Now, I'm going to leave this test and the other test down below. It's a really cool exercise for you to do and for you to do with your employees as well. And it's funny because this is not just recommended by me. This is not just recommended by my mentor. If you look online, a lot of people actually do these psychological tests to their employees. Now, what scientists say is that the Myers-Briggs test is fake. And the reason for that is that they based on that people are born with a certain nature and that's it. Therefore, if you do the Myers-Briggs, you cannot evolve, you cannot change. While the main idea here is for when you know what your weaknesses are is for you to actually evolve and work on that weaknesses. That's why most people say that Myers-Briggs tests don't work, is because they're based on people just stay the same. Your objective with these is not to stay the same, it's to actually learn from these and not stay the same. It's to change the things that you need to change that will allow you to be better at what you do. And that's basically it. It's for you to train yourself to be better at the things that you are weak at. And yeah, so give it a try. It's a fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to actually test other people and doubt to them and see, like, and you see most people when they do it, they'll see, yeah, this is really, like, this is really me. This like sounds like me. And what most people don't understand is that you are not born with these characteristics. This is what your environment molds you to do. So, and that is like because of your environment. Therefore, you can change it as well. So give it a try. But before that, subscribe to the channel and I'll see you tomorrow. By the way, my name is Carlos Arthur. I know that I say this every single time at the end of the video. And subscribe to the channel and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.